Hi there. Looking for another E3 prediction video? Well, you've come to the right place. My name is Keifi, and welcome to the first episode of Keifi's Corner. Before we begin, though, I feel obliged to tell you that massive spoilers lie ahead for Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity, and Kingdom Hearts 3. If you're willing to brave that, then just sit back, listen, and enjoy. Without further ado, may I introduce to you tonight's special guest, who goes by the handle Globos Heckley. Our friend here has worked retail in the gaming industry for 13 years now. The two of us, however, have been gaming together even longer than that. So how are you doing on this fine evening?
Decent. Curbside pickup sucks, but that's what the world we're living in right now.
I can imagine. So, what kinds of games have you been playing lately?
Not enough. I started Biomutant. It's decent. Nice little action game. Um, Play way too much Final Fantasy 14 and Minecraft and a few others.
I've also been playing a lot of 14 myself lately, along with Resident Evil Village, playing the City of Final Fantasy, and getting the most out of the Kingdom Hearts Remind DLC, which is quite a joy to play. So, you work at a gaming store. What have you been hearing about E3 lately? I'm sure our viewers would also like to know.
Still not enough. The rumors going around about a new Mario Kart. People keep asking about the sequel to Breath of the Wild and a few other big ones, but there's no one big thing. They finally gave a release date for Pokemon, so that was nice. It's looking like a fairly good couple of releases. So nice to see that we got a release date for Arceus as well.
Ooh, Pokemon Legends Arceus should be good.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Nice open world Pokemon game.
Apparently, a Breath of the Wild style Pokemon game.
Yeah, big open world. It'll be nice.
Alright, so I think we're going to start the first segment off with what the people really want: Smash predictions. I myself, and I know I always get laughed out of the room every time I say this, have always been a proponent for Sora for Smash.
Square's been a big part of Smash for a little while now, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got something from Zora. It's just, getting Disney involved. That's the issue.
Yeah, that's the problem that a lot of people have when it comes to adding Sora for Smash. I think if Disney really wanted to, they would put him in there. And they wouldn't even have to showcase Donald and Goofy that much if they didn't want to, unless it was for the final Smash.
Donald and Goofy, I have a feeling that's going to be a hard one to pull just because of Disney. Uh, Master Chief is definitely a big one that I keep
Ooh,
hearing about
yes.
because of Microsoft and Nintendo being fairly friendly lately.
Yeah, I think that too. We're into the last two characters now, so I think Master Chief and Sora would be a slam dunk to finish the Fighter Pass at this point.
Yeah, yeah, they're both big enough characters that they would do pretty well. And with all the words lately about only two characters left to be added to the roster, those two make sense.
Now, if we don't get a Master Chief or a Sora, what do you think about a Tails?
Yeah, I mean, Sonic doesn't have a whole lot of representation in there, so it could be Tails or someone from the series, Tails, Knuckles, or even have like a alternate skin from a few of the characters in there. Because there's a lot of Sonic-like characters that are in the Sonic games.
If we don't get a Tails, what about a Dr. Eggman? We can continue with that villain theme.
Yeah, and I mean, data miners have found that there's room for multiple Smash passes still, so potentially we could have like a villain-themed add-on. Not adding more characters, but maybe a new game mode or something.
Now, I've heard you mentioning before a world of darkness instead of a world of light.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see something completely different where it maybe mainly focuses on the bad guys first and then it moves into some of the good guys to save the world, I guess.
Save the world from darkness? Or from light, in this case. That's a pretty good idea, actually. You know what's another good idea? Crash Bandicoot. What do you think of the huge push for him to be in Smash lately?
I don't know. I feel like Sony still has a little bit too much pull on Crash that it wouldn't get into Smash. But I mean, weirder things have happened. We have Minecraft in Smash.
We do have Minecraft in Smash. I do think we could see a Crash, though. Over the last couple of years, his popularity has been on quite the dramatic rise, and it spans across all the platforms. If there was ever a time to put Crash in Smash, it would be now, at this year's E3.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence about him, but mainly because it's a game that's on all the systems right now. I don't feel like it's pushed enough towards just Nintendo to add a character like that into the game. But again, weirder things have happened. Minecraft.
Indeed. Okay, so what about a Smash Fighters Pass 3? Or has that been killed now, based on what Sakurai just said?
I think a fighter pass is probably done. I think they're just going to deal with the two, and then if they do any more passes, it's going to be for new game modes. I don't think they're going to add any more characters. Maybe tweaks, maybe alternate fighters, but no new characters.
Sakurai did say that he would stay on and continue to make tweaks to the game, as well as improve gameplay, just that there would be no new characters added after the final two. Now, whether that means Smash Ultimate, who knows? Maybe there's another future Smash game. A definitive edition, perhaps? But I digress.
Well, I mean, for alternate characters, even just like the core crew, like Luigi, you have Luigi's Mansion that they haven't really touched on. So Luigi could have a alternate fighter kind of thing with a Luigi Mansion style kind of backpack. Kind of like how Mario has his Sunshine backpack.
Ooh, or a Luigi Echo Fighter.
Yeah,
Or a Luigi's Mansion.
yeah, you could have something like that too. Yeah, whether Nintendo actually does it or not, because they don't like money.
Oh, of course not. After all, how about that quote unquote controversy surrounding the Zelda Loftwing amiibo?
Yeah, that's an interesting amiibo.
Using this amiibo, you can teleport from anywhere back to Skyloft. Doesn't matter if you're on the overworld, in a dungeon, in a boss battle, anywhere.
And then you can teleport right back to where you were, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. I think if you're in the middle of a dungeon, you can be like, "Oh, I need more fairies. I'm going back to Skyloft."
It's pretty OP, I'm not gonna lie. It shouldn't be tied behind the amiibo, but it's Nintendo. I kind of think people are blowing this whole thing a bit out of proportion.
The base game is still the exact same thing as what you had, minus the requirement for motion controls. But it's the amiibo just gives that extra bit of cheatiness, I guess.
Now people don't have to suffer like we did 10 years ago. Lucky people.
Yeah, yeah. Amiibos are getting too expensive though. How many there are out there now? At least they're only releasing one for this one that we know of, at least.
I wonder what kind of amiibos they plan on releasing for Breath of the Wild 2.
It really depends what kind of character arcs they decide to put in there. They already have all the champions. If they're going to keep using the same champions, or they're going to have some sort of new story with ancient warriors or something, they'll probably add more amiibos in for those.
Well, Nintendo does like making money. This actually leads to the next item on our list. Breath of the Wild 2. Is it a sequel to the original Breath of the Wild? Or is it actually a sequel to Age of Calamity?
We've talked about this one before. I feel like it's going to be a sequel to both. So, spoilers. I feel like you're going to be playing as Link and Zelda from Breath of the Wild, and you're going to see the Link and Zelda from Age of Calamity grow old, and they'll be needing the Breath of the Wild heroes to save the day. And they'll be crossing between the two universes, almost like how Link to the Past and Link Between Worlds worked, where you're going to transfer between them. That's my guess. If they don't do that, I mean, still an idea for another game for them.
All these timeline shenanigans immediately make me think of Chapter 5 in Age of Calamity, when Sidon comes to Mipha's rescue, essentially shattering the entire timeline in the process. Yunobo does the same for Daruk, Riju for Urbosa, and then Teba does the same for Rivali.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played that far, but everything I've read, like, there's enough changes in the timeline that one universe is definitely going to go in a better way than the other. So it's the good timeline requesting the bad timeline's hero to come help them out, which is a weird concept, but the way they both worked, that's I don't know, makes sense to me.
No, that totally makes sense. And that would allow them to bring all the newer champions in with the older champions into the same game, along with both Link and Zelda. And when it comes to E3, there's no doubt in my mind that Breath of the Wild will be showcased there. The real question is, will it be playable at E3?
No, they'll probably do a demo around Christmas. And I think the release date is going to be the anniversary of when Breath of the Wild came out, March 3rd. Or I think March 4th is the Friday, so potentially the 4th instead. But and that brings me to my next prediction, which is the Switch Pro, which I think would be March 3rd as well. Just have a full-on anniversary with the game and the system.
Ooh, bundled them both.
We're not going to see a bundle. Nintendo's not that nice.
Fair enough. Even if they sell them both on the same day, though, 5 years later on the anniversary date, oh, that's a sure way to rake in the money.
Yep, I could definitely see that happening. But there's also rumors that we might see it like September, October this year for the whatever the new Switch is. So we'll see what happens there.
I have heard that the Switch Pro may even be announced before E3. Hopefully not before this podcast is.
We'll see, I guess.
So, what would you call it? Would you call it a Switch Pro, new Nintendo Switch Pro? I personally am keen on the name Super Nintendo Switch.
I could see them doing like new Nintendo Switch, just the way they went with like the 3DS and whatnot. But Super Nintendo Switch or something along those lines kind of makes sense too, especially with all the Nintendo Online stuff with the NES and Super Nintendo Virtual Consoles. Like, it feels like they're trying to kind of move back into being Super again, if that makes any sense.
Bloomberg and Eurogamer have reported that. What would you personally put your odds at? What do you think? 50%? 75%?
I mean, leaks are leaks. All it takes is a delay, and I could be more right than what the leaks are right now. But yeah, if postings have been posted and they had release dates on there, I would assume that would be more accurate at this point. But the way that delays have been happening with COVID and whatnot, I think March 3rd would make a lot more sense for everyone. At that point, the economy may have recovered a little bit more.
Totally. Here's hoping. So we know that Nintendo is releasing a few games. We have release dates for some of them. The 25th of June is Mario Golf. What do you think of that?
The rush mode looks like it's going to be pretty intense.
I'll have fun fighting you from hole to hole while I'm golfing. How about July 16th? Skyward Sword.
It's one that I watched you play through mostly. I didn't play it myself, but it's definitely one that I'll like to revisit. Just never had the experience. But without the Wii Motion Plus controls, I will probably enjoy it more. I didn't really like how they had the motion controls originally.
It was definitely a challenge, that's for sure. I may have inadvertently swore a few times, but I persevered.
I am more interested to know what's going to happen with Fee?
Yeah, well, when I played through Breath of the Wild and first got that Master Sword, I swear to God, I heard her do her signature sound from the from Skyward Sword. So it was a nice little nod back to that one too that I'm sure a lot of people missed.
I think playing Skyward Sword is actually going to end up being a prerequisite for Breath of the Wild 2, based on the lore and what you just said with Fee.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll have some sort of bigger connection to more Zelda games with the Breath of the Wild sequel.
And then we've recently gotten Pokemon release dates, as we mentioned before. So November 19th, we have Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Did you ever play that, Jim?
No, I never got into those ones. I mean, that was really when I started in retail too, around when those guys were coming out. So like, I got to talk about it a lot, but I never played those.
Fair enough. I do have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed those games. They were probably my third favorite, right after the originals, right after Gold and Silver. Thoroughly enjoyed that, and Dawn is the best Pokeball, by the way. Just throwing that out there. So on the 28th, we also have Pokemon Legends Arceus, which looks fantastic story-wise. Gameplay-wise, we've seen some frames. They looked a bit questionable, but
Yeah, I mean, it's anything that's shown. I'm sure is still an alpha version right now, so I wouldn't take anything you've seen as end game, like final footage of the game. It's still way too early to take anything that's shown as being final footage.
yeah. So those were 5 release dates from June to January. We don't know what else is going to be released specifically until Nintendo tells us at E3.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of holes in between July and November right now. Nintendo has been really good at trying to make sure they have a big release once a month, every month for since the Switch came out. Yeah, there's been a few holes here and there, but they've been doing a really good job making sure there's been something. So hopefully we'll have some good announcements coming out for those few months. And yeah, with Zelda's anniversary, we've hardly heard anything. So
That's
something?
really quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, so is there going to be more collections that they're going to get announced for, or more remakes?
How about a Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, and a Wind Waker Trilogy HD collection?
Waker feels like it's too recent to put out another version of it. In a collection, maybe they'll do like they did with the Mario All Stars and just have a port and not have an HD remake. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's too soon to see a Wind Waker. I could see them doing like the Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages as like a 2-pack kind of HD remake or something.
That would be great.
Kind of based off of how they did the what was that recent one? Recent Zelda.
Minish Cap?
No, the recent remake Zelda that they did.
Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see them using that engine to do like a Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages.
For sure. Yeah, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, I don't think would actually fit with Wind Waker the more that I think about it. And Nintendo really likes money, so if they can sell Wind Waker for $79.99 Canadian, why wouldn't they?
Well, again, I feel like Wind Waker's too recent. Maybe it could end up being like Minish Cap, including Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. I feel like that one's a little bit closer to those two.
I think that would be a great HD trilogy, actually. Those 3 handheld games that a lot of people never really got the chance to play back in the day.
Hopefully, if they do that, they're not going to pull an All Stars and have it pulled from the marketplace after a certain amount of time.
Ooh, yes, that was a bad move, Nintendo.
Again, Nintendo doesn't like money, so why would they keep selling something that people want?
Can you see them bundling something like Ocarina and Majora's together?
With how they kind of re-released those on the 3DS, I feel like it might be too soon still for those to be remake, but at the same time, they're so popular that, again, who knows? Nintendo likes making money, but they don't at the same time, so it could happen, it might not.
Well, we're now approaching the 20-minute mark, and I'm sure you and these fine people have somewhere to be. So let's end this off with a quick fire round. I will name off an IP, and you tell me whether or not you think we'll see it at E3. First up, Splatoon 3.
I think we'll see it at E3, but I'm pretty sure they said it's not coming till next year. So that could easily be like a May, June release next year.
June or July seems like a good bet. Metroid Prime 4. What do you think?
This is one I talk with customers and stuff all the time about. You know, we heard about Metroid Prime like a year after the Switch launched, and they went back to the drawing board like 3 or 4 times, even though the game was half finished. And I think we'll finally see something at E3, and then when they're done announcing that, they'll go right to a Metroid Prime trilogy and be like, "Hey, this is out in the next couple months. 2 months later, here we go. Here's a release date."
Or 2 months earlier, even to promote the game.
And knowing Nintendo, we'll probably get some amiibos. Woo!
Added to that Metroid series is too many.
Yeah.
New Mario game. Yes or no?
I think if we get a new Mario game, it'll be a side-scrolling. Mario Odyssey is the only official Switch Mario game, because New Mario Brothers Deluxe, that was a Wii U game. That doesn't count. Just like Mario Kart 8. I really hope to see another Mario Kart.
While we're on Mario Kart, we have talked about this a few times, but I wanted to bring this up. If we're seeing a new Mario Kart, do you think it's called Mario Kart 9 or Mario Kart 11? And the reason I ask is because we have Mario Kart Tour and Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. So technically, a new entry in the series would be the 11.
There's been a lot of rumors of Mario Kart over the last few weeks, and every picture people have posted, their own fan art for it, has been Mario Kart 9. You do bring up a good point that Mario Kart Tour and Live Home Circuit have come out. I feel like Mario Kart Tour is kind of in its own category, so I could see this being Mario Kart 10.
10. No.
Super Mario Kart 10 Deluxe Switch?
Definitive edition.
Of course.
All right, next up, we know Monolith Soft is developing a new game. Do you think it will be a new IP, or do you think we'll see Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
I can see it being Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but I can also see them having 2 games in the works. Having Xenoblade Chronicles hiding in the background and having this new IP come out. And then it's, oh, by the way, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, December.
Yeah, I think December would be a good release date for it. It would certainly fill in some of those gaps that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. The last few years, Nintendo has had a decent game coming out in December, so I could see Xenoblade definitely filling that role.
Is there anything else, real quick off the top of your head, that you think we may see at E3? It doesn't even have to be a Nintendo product.
BioShock 4.
Ooh.
I've been hearing more and more rumors on that one lately. So I think we might see something, or at least hear something about the next BioShock.
I like it. I haven't played a BioShock game in quite a long time because Infinite was released originally on the PS3. But I'm stoked if we get a BioShock 4. My goodness.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
I totally didn't. I didn't even know that they were considering making a sequel. I knew that the part of the people from the company originally left, so I wasn't even sure if they were going to continue that.
It's not that they left. I believe the 2K bought out the BioShock IP.
Okay.
So it's not the same guy. I don't even think the same guys worked on Infinite. I think it was more of the 2K guys that were working on Infinite. Yeah. I could be wrong on that one.
Okay. It's cool to know, though. I'm fully anticipating a BioShock 4 now. Just so you
I've been reading a few rumors about it recently, so again, rumors, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but yeah.
know. All right. Well, I think that seems like a good place to call it. This has been a pretty fun evening, though.
Yeah, good talking about games. It's always fun.
Definitely. Maybe I can have you back a week or so after E3, and we can chat about some of the releases that get announced.
Definitely.
All right. Well, you have a good evening.
You too.